to you all and welcome to another episode of Wear Many Hats. My name's Rachel and this is the podcast totally dedicated to the FM and property industry. Today, we've got a fantastic guest with us. We have Martyn Jagger. He is the Vice President of Capital and Facilities at HCA Healthcare. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That's a mouthful.
It is a little bit.
Did you come from far today?
I've come from Cavendish Square, so just off Oxford Circus,
Right.
right next to John Lewis. So yeah, so not too far at all, just down the road.
Yeah, and that's where you're based,
That's
is it?
head office, yeah.
Lovely.
It's a very nice head office overlooking the square.
Not too far from Holborn Labs here where we are
No.
today.
Yeah, short stroll. So
Yeah.
15-minute stroll. Very nice.
I'm quite excited to hear your journey. So yeah, should we jump straight in and take you way back?
Yes, we're back. So yeah, so as my accent will probably tell you, I'm not from round here. I'm certainly not from London.
Yeah.
So I grew up in a place called Blythe, so just north of Newcastle,
Yep.
South Northumberland. And that's sort of a little mining, well, not little, rather large mining shipbuilding base
Okay.
back in the day.
Yeah.
So pretty challenging environment. Late 1980s, early 1990s. Growing up, not a great deal of opportunity going around there. School for most, and I certainly myself was a complete washout. When I went, I didn't go very often, but complete washout. But I managed to grab maybe a small handful of GCSEs and a very fortunate A level.
Yeah. You did well.
Before leaving, very few people wander off to university from at that time. Anyway, it's changed now, thankfully.
Yeah, of course.
But at that time, very few people were going off to university. My sister was one of them who did.
Okay.
Which was brilliant. She's my older sister.
Yeah.
So I kind of saw her do that and think, well, you know what, that might be an opportunity. I hadn't done particularly well, like I say, at A level, so I didn't go straight in to do a degree. I got this sort of random letter, and you'll probably call it a clearing letter now or whatever. So it came through the post, and it said, would you be interested in a building studies HND in Southampton?
Okay.
The other end of the world as far as I was concerned, but miles away. And it sort of went, well, you know what, certainly hadn't thought about construction at all as an option for me.
Okay, yeah.
But it gave me a pathway into university. I spoke to my sister, actually, and she said, well, you know what, to do it where I am. She was at Oxford Brookes, so it was Oxford Poly.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, I'll give it a go. So, so I went down, I enrolled, I did a HND. The idea was to do a HND, just get something, which is, HND is kind of an A level. It was sort of a step back. Step back to take a step forward. And then that was as much of a plan as I had.
Yeah.
But it was in business, in building studies.
Yeah.
That rolled into a degree.
Okay.
So I did a degree in construction management, straight roll on. I was at a university for quite a while. Back then, you probably could get away with it a wee bit more.
Yeah.
And then, so once I'd completed my degree, so I got a construction management degree and a couple of false starts.
Yeah.
I think a CAD technician was one attempt at a job, and
that's changed.
Yeah, that's changed. Yeah, and then it was a trainee building surveyor, which it sort of didn't stick. So those sort of things. So I came to London and managed to get a job with within the mobile telecoms network rollout.
Yeah.
So and that was just at the start of 3G being rolled out, a massive investment. So got quite lucky. So worked for a company called MK International. Yeah. They were based in Woking. They were owned by WorldCom. Which I don't know if you remember, but in 2000 there's a scandal around that, and that didn't end very well. But it was brilliant. Really, really enjoyed my time there. And then rolled on from there into a company called Walden Design and Construction, again based around the same place, where I managed to get myself up to head of construction.
Okay.
And so I was there for quite a long time, loved it, brilliant time. And then from there, I thought, you know what, I want to get myself chartered. It wasn't really the industry to get all the competencies needed to get chartered, and that's the CIOB. So I left. Yeah. I joined another company, and whilst I managed to get chartered, that other company wasn't really what I wanted to be. And what it did do, it allowed me some really good experience in healthcare. So this particular construction company, whilst it wasn't brilliant, it got me some experience, which then gave me the opportunity. Foot in the door. I left that company, a series of redundancies and so on. So I kind of was out of work for 4 or 5 months, looking for work. Looking in Gazette, I looked at the Gazette journals and States magazines back in the day. No internet, thumbing through, waiting for the paper to go out, going to get the paper and looking at the paper, circling stuff. That was awful. Well, to be fair, we didn't know any different.
No, we didn't.
So I was based out, and I was still, and where I am now, in Farnham and Surrey.
Okay.
So out in the sticks a wee bit. Yeah. But came across a job as an assistant consultant for working for a company called Inventures.
Yes.
And Inventures are a company who are the trading arm of the NHS estates.
Oh, right.
Medical. So thankfully, that previous job had given me a little bit of at least something I could talk about in an interview. So they look after things like NHS procurement frameworks. Project management, business cases. Yeah. And so I got interviewed by 2 guys, probably I owe quite a bit of a debt to. Yeah. A guy called Stan Coates. He now is one of the founders of Arcus, which is a similar company to Inventures, NHS infrastructure advice and procurement. And then a chap called Simon Corbin, who is now director / head of professional services at NHS England. So they give me a bit of a bunk up. They give me an opportunity, albeit it was a big step back from being head of construction to an assistant consultant. Yes. But it was a chance, and back then, there wasn't a great deal going on. But this one I really fancied this role. So we went for it. So I was there for 4 years. I think Stan probably regrets ever hiring me because I was in his ear every day. Give me some more responsibility. Give me this, give me that, give me a promotion. Yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, I had started on half the salary as I was previously. So I desperately wanted to move quickly. I was 30, I had 2 kids. It was like, got to get moving quite quickly. Yeah. So I think I pestered the life out of him for a long while. But he's a lovely man. He probably would never tell me that. So I was there for 4 years. So I started as an assistant consultant and I left as associate director of projects and programs. So nice, it was brilliant. Yeah, it was brilliant. I managed to get quite a few promotions and I thoroughly enjoyed my time there. So then Inventures were doing very well and Capita came in and bought them just around the corner. We were based just at the underpass there. So Capita came in and bought Inventures, and like many people who worked there, decided it wasn't for me. Big company,
different from what you know. Yeah. So
I decided to start looking. A company called BMI Healthcare came in. Now Circle. Circle. They came in. I got offered a job as head of infrastructure. So I went across there, and that was managing a team looking after property related projects. So whether it's roofing or asbestos removal or new scanners, capital projects. Yes. And I was there, for a good 4 years. And then the opportunity came up again for HCA, because when I took the job at BMI, HCA were also, I also had a job offer from them, but I took BMI over HCA.
Wow.
So thankfully they came back and knocked on the door again.
They wanted you back.
Yeah. I didn't burn any bridges.
That's so good.
Yeah. So I went back in there and took the job there as Director of Estates and Construction. And 10 years ago that was. And now Vice President of Capital and Facilities. So and that's where we've got to right now.
I know. Yeah. That's fantastic. And just to see your progression through there. But I was going to say, did you always know you were going to end up on this path?
No, absolutely not.
Mining wasn't for you then, no?
Oh, so my career as advice at school was obviously there was still a little bit of shipbuilding going on, and I think I got offered or suggested I should be a welder. Other than that, I got no other advice. And to be honest, I had no idea. They could have given me all the advice in the world. I wouldn't have known what to do at that age. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And building just fell into it.
So that letter came through for you, and that kind of put you on the path of construction of some
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was all it was. All it took was one sort of random letter from Southampton where I didn't even go to eventually. So
that's meant to be then, isn't it?
Well, maybe. Yeah.
So I was going to say, you mentioned a couple of names, but are they the ones that gave you the real push in your career, or are there others? I mean, obviously,
they certainly helped. They were great. But actually, looking back on my time and thinking about it a little bit recently, of course, knowing this was coming up, it wasn't really that. It was the time in the telecoms industry. So, which is weird. So, coming straight after university, the telecoms industry was like a really young industry. It's a young industry in itself, and it had young people working in it.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
Everybody was in 20s, 30s. All the senior positions were held by quite young people.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice. You're working in a young environment and just witnessing these guys being accountable, taking ownership of stuff, proving that you don't have to be the oldest in the room to be the boss.
Absolutely.
And so that was sort of the kick I needed, or certainly the insight. Saying,
the drive, being their passion and their drive.
It's, youth wasn't necessarily a barrier, and, you could just, you could have a proper go at it. And yeah, it was nice. I mean, I had a really good boss there, Simon Roberts. He was 4 years younger than me. 4 months younger than me. And he's given off worldly advice, saying it's as easy to file this piece of paper correctly as it is to file it badly. And the little things like that you stick with you because he's a young man, but he's got these standards he's set himself, and it's straight across the board. They're all like that. So yes, it was a strange environment. That was in my mid-20s. Sort of give me the kick that what, you don't have to be old to make a contribution. So it was interesting. So that's kind of where I sort of take it back to when I got my first kick. Yeah. So but other people, definitely Stan and the time there, that helped. But that was worth it.
Do you still speak to them?
Yeah, I catch up with Stan now and again. Yeah,
he must be proud.
Yeah, and that Simon Roberts, the guy I mentioned, is godfather to one of my kids.
Oh, wow.
So so
you're close.
Yeah, we're close. Yeah, but he was my boss originally. So I learned a lot from him. I wouldn't. Well, he might hear this now, but I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't give him too much praise to his face. It did set you.
There's a lot though that he's godfather. Yeah. I love that. Wow, that says a lot about you as well. That you've longevity in your relationship.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
and not burn any bridges anymore. No, that's lovely.
Going back to it was a young environment. It was a really fun place to work. Really fun. We worked 6 or 7 days a week, doing crane lifts all up and down the country. Yeah. We had a lot of authority and a lot of responsibility. But we just lapped it up. We all just did it. So it was.
I love that. So let's chat a little bit about what you do today. So what does a day in your world look like these days?
So facilities and estates. So I'm in the healthcare sector. Yeah. So facilities and estates, it kind of touches all aspects of our business, right across it. Whether I was working in the NHS or whether I'm in private, which I am, it sort of touches every part of our business. So one of the great things about my job, and you'll have heard it 1,000 times because everyone will say it. Yeah. No day's the same.
You wear many hats.
Yeah. No day's the same, and So, but one of my roles is looking after the property of our property portfolio. And we've got up to 100 properties, and they range from acute hospitals like London Bridge or the Wellington or the Portland or Harley Street Clinic, proper acute hospitals, right? To outpatients, which we've got floors in the Shard. So we've got we've got MR scanners in the Shard and stuff. So so it's pretty cool. We've got lots of primary care. We've got lab space. We do joint ventures with UCLH guys, and we do the Christie in Manchester. So we've got that connection with the NHS. So it's quite eclectic. We've got 2.5 million square feet of real estate. Wow. We look after. It's a big old chunk.
That sits under you.
Yeah. In terms of the property, 2.5 million square feet scattered across Birmingham, Manchester, down here. So we've got a big chunk. That's just in the UK.
Yeah, so, you mentioned you're going to Birmingham on Monday. Yeah. So you're all over the country.
Yeah. So we've got places in Birmingham and Manchester, and then mainly in London. Yeah. A little bit in Glasgow, but gosh. Yeah, so it's a big estate. So with that 2.5 million square feet, we freehold and leasehold quite a bit of it.
Okay.
So part of my day probably will be involved in quite a lot of lease events.
Right.
So that's reversionary leases or new leases, new acquisitions, rent reviews. So a lot of the property is taken up because that number of properties take a lot of work.
I bet.
Then all the capital that's spent on these buildings.
Yeah, of course. Keep them running.
Yeah, keep them running and investing in them. So, we, like you just mentioned Birmingham, we've just recently finished a 100 million plus hospital in Birmingham. That's been up in a couple of years now. So that sort of division sits under me. And we've just very recently opened 20,000 square feet in Canary Wharf.
Canary Wharf, yeah.
And we're looking this year to do another 15,000
so
in
you're
St Paul's.
Growing.
Yeah, we're growing. Yeah. So that sits under. So again, it could be something to do with that. And then there's the estate side, which is keeping the lights on.
Yeah.
So it's it's the boilers, the generators, all of that falls.
Medical.
So,
you've got to keep it. No pressure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So quite
not like an office. If the lights and if it all goes, you can't have things go down.
No. So there's a great deal of pressure, and thankfully, each one of our hospitals has an estates manager.
Right.
And they have teams of in-house engineering under.
And they sit under you?
Yeah, they sit dotted line into me. They sit to the hospital, directly linked, but they sit under me as a group.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it could be anything, and one of those things that would come up on any given day. But generally, it's a mix of all. And
it's quite exciting, though.
The project team are forever building stuff. We're always investing. And the project team has a director of capital projects who sits under me, Michelle Williams. She's got 6 project managers, and then she has a framework of architects, mechanical, electrical consultants who help us reinvest into all the properties. Hence why we've got them in house, because we do so much of it. We don't outsource it.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah. So it's really, really interesting. But it's no day is the same. I know it's slightly but no day is the same.
You sound like you're really passionate about it. I know it's not a question, but I can see it.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. And we've been doing it for 10 years and I really, really enjoy it. HCA is a really, it's a really, I don't know, I guess it's a really forward-thinking company, and we reinvest. And as a project manager by heart, project managers like spending money. Yeah. So, there's no good having a project manager if you're not building anything.
Yeah,
so we do, and we keep growing, and we look to reinvest. Yeah. So it's good. It's good. 10 years, so it's quite good.
Here's to another 10 years then.
Well, let's hope so. Yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk challenges. I mean, that sounded like your day to day just sounds challenging. Like there's a lot there. But what's testing you right now in your role?
Yeah. So there's many things. Obviously, in healthcare, anything can come out the woodwork. But if you're a good healthcare organisation, you kind of second guess what's coming around the corner. So day-to-day challenges, you kind of have a plan for.
Like this might happen.
Yeah, this might happen. That might happen.
Yeah.
We've got a
strategy in place.
But something that came up and something that's been implemented recently. So it's one of the big struggles, and I dare say some of your other guests might mention it, is the Building Safety Act. So the Building Safety Act, it sort of came in 2022, but it's come into force in October 23. Right. So what that does, it's ever since the Grenfell disaster. Yes. So ever since the Grenfell disaster, it's been brought in to make building safer. We're trying to navigate our way around that, as every other developer or business is doing. So what this Building Safety Act says, or deems any building over 18 meters tall, 8 meters tall, or 7 floors, is deemed a high risk building. So that means it's subject to more stringent building controls when you're designing, building, and doing anything to do it. And it gives you, and like I say, it's quite a new act.
That's a challenge.
It's a challenge, and it comes under, it has 3 gateways, and one being planning, one being detailed design. So before you can do anything, you have to get this approval.
Yeah, right? Which can take a while.
It can take a while. So it's meant to take 8 weeks. Currently, it's sitting at anywhere between 18 and 24 weeks to get that approval. If you don't get approval, you can't start. So if you think of it from our perspective or any other developer, you're sitting on your hands for 24 weeks because you can't start before you can start. Now, if you're running a hospital organisation and you want to develop or grow. It's a real challenge. It's putting huge pressure on it, slowing down our ability to bring new facilities to market, aka our customers or patients.
Yeah, of course.
So that's a real challenge. Like most of the people in the industry are finding it difficult to navigate. There's a lot of uncertainty around it. There's a whole new department which is under-resourced, so we're hoping at some point that will be be better subscribed, and we will get some more. We'll get some better dates coming up. But right now, that's a huge issue. It's a huge challenge we're having. So if we want to if we want to update the theatre,
of course,
we have to do so much work up front
to make sure
submit it, to submit it, and then they can sit on it. And if they decide something's not right with it, they kick it back and you start again. So,
oh my goodness, that is a big challenge.
Really, really challenging. And,
testing you.
It's new. Yeah, it's new for everybody.
And that's it moving forwards now.
Moving forward, it won't change.
Yeah.
It's just how we understand it. And the whole industry is struggling to understand it. Some better than others, but
it's about working around it. I think.
Exactly. So that really is a challenge for us.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. So besides that, where do you think the industry's heading, and what sort of excites you around you?
And what excites me, I hope, and is sort of the push towards apprenticeships. I love that. I've got a child at university, and I know how expensive it is.
Yes,
and I'm hoping that actually plays into it.
Yes.
But what slightly worried me previously was the fact there was no young people coming into the industry on the FN side, on the state side. It's really tricky. So we've got a suite of apprenticeships now running out and rolling out. So that's fantastic. It's just I'm hoping that in the future, and what excites me is seeing more people coming into it.
This is why we do the podcast.
Good. Well, because people, they
don't know enough
business to be in.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And like I always say, there's so many different areas to it, and this is why we have so many diverse guests from the workplace. Just to show you how many different areas there are, and how exciting it is. And I've said this so many times. It's not, even though you told me you're in the basement, it's not the people in the basement fixing the light bulbs. There's so much more to it.
Yeah,
so much.
There's a real career there for
everybody.
Who wants it. And it passes.
It'll never go either, will it? It'll always be a role.
Going on to the neck. And
yes.
I mean, I can't take that away.
Definitely not.
Change the light bulb for you, that sort of thing. So hopefully it's going to be the shot in the arm, that we need. We're hopefully doing our little bit, but I'm hoping obviously other companies are doing it. Just getting young people into the industry and
I love that.
Capturing them.
Apprenticeships there's a lot to be said, and you can find apprenticeships on the government website. Hundreds and hundreds of them. And I know this would be in there as well.
Yes, we cover a lot of our disciplines, whether it's a nursing apprenticeship. So we're trying to cover it all off. So just capturing people. Yeah. So people realising universities aren't the only way to do things, and coming out with a ton of debt instead of coming out with a qualification. That might be the future. So I'm really excited. I hope that will change the landscape a little bit. But that's that's good.
It's like the old YTS. You remember the?
I do remember the old. Worryingly,
me too.
Yes, that's exactly.
It's like that, but
catching them early.
Better.
So in America, our HCA in America, we've got this thing called Grow Your Own.
Oh.
Which effectively they bring in estates guys and stuff, and they grow them up and bring them through, because you've got someone you've molded and they're in your, they know how you operate. You're in their genetics. You get, but we haven't had that here yet. So we're trying to get something like that.
That's brilliant.
So early days, and it's challenges, but we're hoping it's going to.
We'll plug it for you on the LinkedIn page, and
please,
if you've got anything, we can give you a little shout out to hopefully the listeners that were interested can see that you're hiring for apprentices. Oh, I love that. That's brilliant. So let's talk about AI.
Yeah.
So is it a friend of yours? Or?
Well, it is a friend. Yeah, it certainly is. So in the immediate world that we're in, we use it sort of similar to what everyone else uses it for. Maybe minutes, getting the minutes written up nicely, structuring your emails, doing reports. But obviously, and then there's the wider estate side where you can do predictive maintenance and things like that, which we haven't started yet, but it's on our sort of horizon. Predictive maintenance, to make sure we aren't just waiting for things to break down. Obviously, you have great PPM schedules and stuff to help with that, but eventually it'll help reducing energy consumption and so on. So it will start thinking for us a wee bit. But in healthcare, really, where it's really helping us, and we are sort of a servant to it in terms of from the property side, is it's helping things like imaging.
Yeah.
So so you've got your imaging, your MRs and your CTs and things, and it's helping that. It's sort of plugging the gap because there is a shortage in the world of radiologists. So it's helping doctors to report on imaging and looking for things that could be concerning, and it's speeding up time. It's taking off the pressures. Yeah, so it's working with us. So it's meaning potentially one day, and I don't think it's anytime soon because there is a national shortage of imaging. But one day it'll speed things up. Means more people will go through imaging, and it means we'll need less of them in our hospitals. But right now, I can't see that happening.
No.
But, so it's the healthcare which we're in is quite a conservative environment. It's being treated as a tool and not the answer.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is.
I think that's where we are.
Yeah, and so Tej, who is our head of imaging for the group, he says it quite well. He says it's like having an electric car.
Yeah,
it can drive itself. Do we let it?
No.
So I thought it was brilliant. That's kind of perfectly sums it up.
That's it. That's AI.
Help
in a nutshell.
Won't let it drive the car, but
it can be.
So it is a friend. It definitely is a friend.
Yeah.
And we've got a long way to go, and it's not going to go away. But I don't see it changing light bulbs, and I don't see it fixing, finding columns in a building. It's not going to do any of that.
Definitely not. Yeah. You'll be out of a job.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've got not long left, but
a boring world, wouldn't it?
It would make us.
Yeah, we need people.
We do, definitely.
So what about ESG? That's the buzzword at the moment. What does it mean to you in your work? Are you involved in that side of things?
Yeah. So again, going back to my earlier point, so Estates touches many departments, and we have a whole department covering ESG. I mean, the E bit is mainly me. I mean, the social and the governance side we touch upon as leaders, and everybody in the business touch upon that. But the environmental bit, that firmly sits with me. Well, not with me, with me, and we have a head of sustainability, who drives it. But that is my element. So as a group, as HCA, we've signed up to zero
carbon
emissions by 2035. So that's scopes 1 and 2, and then 3 for 2045, and that's scope 3, and that's in line with like the Paris Agreement. But it's requiring a huge commitment. Both from all the leaders and the staff, from a cultural point of view, and getting things moving in the right direction for the small hanging fruit, but also investment. It costs an absolute fortune.
I know.
We use, I wrote this down, so we use 40,000 megawatts hours of electricity a year, and we use 29 gigawatts of gas every year. So the idea is for us to eventually turn all that gas into electricity in terms of what we are powering. But it's just not as simple as that. We've got, everything we have has to be resilient, to your point earlier on. Everything needs to be backed up. We can't turn off the power. We can't. Every single thing, every single wire is connected to a patient or a bit of plant or a bit of equipment serving a patient. So healthcare is a really tricky one to try and get there. We've agreed to it. The NHS have agreed to it. We will strive for it. But one of the big challenges with this is we just don't have the capacity in the grid to pick up the additional loads that we need. So, we will try and swap things out. We'll swap boilers out. We'll swap things like that out for electric, but we just don't have it. We just don't have enough electricity to do it.
For what you require.
And it's not in the grid. And if we want to upgrade it, we're talking 1.2 million pound upgrades per building. So it's an awful lot of money to invest.
2 million square feet of.
I know, and that's a lot. Right? That's a lot of
buildings to change.
So it's a heavy investment, but we are working towards it.
And that's the key, isn't it? It's working towards.
That's it. But that 2035 will come round quickly.
I know.
We're looking at things like PPAs, as how we buy our electricity and what we can do, whether we make it all green, which is one way of doing it. But yeah, it's we've all got to be
big project.
It's a huge project.
And the head of sustainability, she's
So she's
busy.
She keeps us all going and keeps us all in the right direction.
That's good.
But she's over the whole thing. But the environmental element sits under me and my teams. And, and we're trying to work out ways of doing it. But all our buildings, if you think of the healthcare, all the electricity is backed up by huge generators, and that's the same for every hospital. And they're great big dirty diesel generators. So the power goes off, the generator kicks in, and everything goes back on.
Yeah,
it's finding ways to manage that out, which is healthcare is a tricky environment to try and get to.
You just can't have it switch off.
No, you can't. And so, you've got to get to net.
Absolutely not.
So, so it's a challenge. But it's certainly still a buzzword for us. And we are all pulling towards it.
Brilliant. So this is an interesting one. I think you're probably pioneers in leading the way. But do you think the industry's innovating fast enough, or are we still playing catch up?
Well, certainly we are as a health industry. We, and we as a health company are, we don't lack innovation.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Medical technologies are developing really quickly. HCA as well. We want to be at the front of all that. So we're constantly looking to invest in new technologies because it gives the better outcomes for our patients.
Of course.
But they come with property challenges, huge property challenges, and whether that's space, ventilation, power.
Yeah.
So speaking of challenges, to give some concept to some of the challenges we have with innovation. We're putting in an MR Linac into Harley Street.
Okay.
So this is a multi-million-pound bit of kit. It's taken 27 months so far to do it.
Goodness me!
I know, it's ridiculous. So the MR Linac is a combination of an MR and so we can basically have it merges an MR scanner with radiotherapy machinery.
Wow.
Right? And it allows the consultants to see tumours in real time. So even if the organs move and they can, I'm really stretching my But if the organs are moving, they can see it and act upon it there in real time. So it's much better outcomes for the patient, much less intrusive. But we're trying to put one into Harley Street. This is a Grade 2 listed building, 18th century on Harley Street. We're putting it in the basement, so we're digging out 1.5 meters of earth in the basement. That's 750 tons we've took out. We've underpinned like 60 foundations. I've written down a couple of facts here. The thing is built with blocks, and each little block is 7 kilograms, and they're only made in the US, these blocks. And we put in 52,000 blocks by hand. So by hand and conveyor belt. So, the Linac itself weighs 11.3 tons. It's taken 2 days of 16 lifts by a crane to get it in position. So, and even when it's in, it takes 6 months to commission. So we're innovating fast enough. It's our job to try and keep up with it, which
it's the building.
Really tricky. It's going to be only one of the third ones in the country, certainly the first private sector one. And we'll hopefully have the first patient in May. So innovation is moving. By the time you started that 3 years ago, the bit of kit's probably, there's another bit ready to come. So it takes a long time to put it in. But innovation in healthcare it's never a problem. It's just
the
building it, and then and having the facilities to put it in, and that's
awesome. Gosh. So wow. You've probably been involved in a lot of projects, but looking back, what moment or project are you still proud of today?
So again, projects are great, and I'm lucky enough to walk around London and see all the projects that we've done, and you walk through them and they're nice, and you sort of say, that was a brilliant piece of work, but it's not that really, and it sounds a little bit cliched, and I bet everyone says it, but it's true. It's the teams that we've created, the teams that we've created over the last 10, 20 years. That's what makes me proud, and and watching the younger or less experienced managers having the ability and the confidence to take that extra step. And seeing them 10 times better than you were when you were their age. That's good. And you're seeing them grow, and that's what makes me proud. The buildings, and generally they've been heavily involved in those projects anyway.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of makes me proud is the teams. And it's slightly cliched, but it's
no.
So
not everyone says that. They talk about themselves personally. So I really love it when people say it's the teams and that they've put together and watching people grow. I think it's lovely.
And watching someone else go and be a boss somewhere, or or go and take the next step in their career. But the projects are great, but it doesn't take long before they're out of date and someone has to knock them down and build them again. At the time. So
that's it.
So it's fun watching these guys develop,
thrive, and grow. Yeah, a bit like how the people that introduced you to this are watching you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're right.
Get them on the show.
Maybe, yeah.
So, what's something you wish you knew when you were starting out?
Yeah. So this is interesting as well. So I thought about this, and I don't think I've ever received any sort of career advice. So no one's ever sat me down and said, you know what, Martyn, if you did this and you took that job and did that qualification, you'd end up being VP of X and Y. So that's never really happened. And I've kind of really enjoyed just muddling along and working it out as I went along, making my mistakes. But yeah, ultimately, I've never sat back and thought, I wish I'd known that when I started off. There's not one piece of advice that I thought, you know what, if only I'd known. So yeah, I don't think.
Maybe just that, just learn and make mistakes. Don't be afraid to do that. Yeah, I think I don't call them mistakes. I call them lessons. Yeah. So if you're not making those moves and decisions,
exactly.
You're not going to learn anyway. So
exactly, just work hard. Well, my old man, my dad used to say, just work hard and try and be as honest as you can, and keep it simple, stupid. That's it.
Yes, keep it simple.
Keep it nice and simple. It's not rocket science, but But there's nothing I really wished I knew, because I didn't really know where I was going in the first place. So it wouldn't have helped.
Yeah, no, even that's a bit of sound advice. So if someone came to you tomorrow saying, I want to do what you do, what would you say? Obviously, an apprenticeship's a good start.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Bypass some of it.
Yeah, well, what I would say, first of all, it's brilliant. I mean, we don't have enough people wanting to do what I do or the guys do in the estate. So first of all, it's brilliant. Crack on. The second is that really easy. If I can do it, generally anybody can do it. So that's the two bits. But there's a few ways to getting into my side of the business. I came from a construction background, but there's property, there's engineering routes, there's governance routes. So there's several ways of getting in there. What they all will do and what you all can't do is stop learning. You've got to keep learning. You've got to be open to change, because healthcare just changes or projects change. You've got to be able to take some knockbacks. You've got to take some, you've got to take some kicks. But ultimately, don't be afraid to ask stupid questions. That's a mantra for any team that we're in. Don't ask stupid. Don't be frightened, and don't worry yourself and concern yourself being the smartest in the room. Yeah, because I've seen that so many times. People proving they're the smartest in the room, and if you are the smartest, you're probably missing an opportunity, because it's a shame if you are. Yeah. So and then really, it's like with HCA and any really company that I've worked with, which is nice, is there's none of this, that's not my job attitude. You can't really have that.
Teamwork.
So, you've got a teamwork. My role and the roles under me and so on all touch every bit of the business. And
of course,
you just pitch in. Yeah. That's why you enjoy it so much. So if someone came to me and said they wanted to do it, I'd love it.
Yeah, that's great. And right, let's switch off work then. So do you have time to do anything outside your day job? What do? You mentioned family, so you...
Yeah, so family, I've got a couple of kids, boys. One's lower 6 and one is just started university.
Okay.
Not doing anything that...
I was going to say, is he?
Not following me. No. But he did follow me to Oxford Brookes.
Okay.
So he's at the same university. I don't know
that's nice.
About both of us. But
and his auntie as well.
And his auntie. So she was there. So he's got a bit of heritage there.
That's nice.
So watching them grow up and paying for them to grow up.
Hopefully they can pay you back
one day. So watch a bit of music. Listen to a bit of music, live music. Play a bit of golf, play a bit of football.
Nice.
Trying to learn to play the guitar. I picked that up in COVID and I still can't get a tune out of it.
My son's just started.
Oh, really?
He loves it. He's very, very good. I'm biased, but he does have lessons every week though.
Well, that's that.
Religiously. Every Thursday.
See, that's good. So I tried it. And
he loves it. Yeah. But he's there hours. Sore, raw fingers, he loves it so much. He's 22.
Yeah, so he's still
he loves it. Yeah.
and he can still move his fingers.
Yeah, keep going.
So I'm trying to learn that. It's I don't play for anybody. No one would dare listen to me. I wouldn't want anyone to listen to me. I wouldn't put them through it. But
it's for you.
Yeah. And then I'm a Newcastle fan. I watch football. It's better of late. It's better, but So and the family are all Newcastle mad. So we just follow that. So nothing outrageous. Just watching the kids grow up and
And you going back up to
and then head back up tomorrow to see my mum. But
you said you get a flight.
I fly up because it's such a long way. Because I'm going quite regularly, but it's
how long is that flight? Sorry, I've never been.
45 minutes, maybe 15 minutes.
By the time you're up, you're down.
Yeah, it's brilliant. But it's a 7-hour drive. So on the weekend,
no brainer.
It's not too expensive, but the drive is horrendous. And I've been doing it for too long. I've been doing it since I was 18. It's a long time going up and down there. So I've just gone.
I know this.
Smooth.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Read a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So, last one. What's the best bit of advice you've ever been given?
Yeah. And again, avoiding cliches because it can come across a lot.
No, I like the cliches.
But I can't remember what the exact phrase was, but I tried. It's "bring yourself to work" was the phrase that I remember. So, so essentially, I got told that everyone's different. Right? So everyone's different. Don't spend a lot of time trying to be who you're not.
Yeah.
Your career is 30, maybe 40 years, and try not to put too many masks on, despite how many hats you put on.
Yes.
Don't put too many masks on because life's too short.
And it slips.
And it slips, and it's hard work.
Yeah.
And just be yourself, remain consistent.
I like that.
And genuinely just be consistent because it's too hard if you try and keep your mask on all the time.
Yeah, definitely. Be yourself.
Yeah, be yourself. And then people will get to know you and how you operate. But if you want, you don't be a fist thumper if you're not a fist thumper. Don't be a hard nose if you're not a hard nose because people can see through it for a start.
And also, you won't be fitting in where you're meant to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
So. That's it. No, not that you'd want to.
You can cut that out. No cats were hurt.
In the making of this. Yeah. Oh, Martyn, thank you so much. Really enjoyed that. So much honesty in there and realness. I like it. And I know that it will relate to our listeners. So I'm sure people might want to get in touch with you, especially around apprenticeships and stuff like that. Can they approach you on your LinkedIn?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you again for coming down and sharing your journey, and good luck with your next 10 years.
Thank you for having me on.
We'll have you on again. Take care. And that's it for today's episode of Wear Many Hats. Please do like, share and forward on Martyn's podcast to friends and family or anyone wanting to get into the industry, in particular healthcare. Until next time, take care.